Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Tuesday, September the 16th. My name is Barry Enerson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Well, a pretty good day actually. Interesting day for me too because I actually used three different strategies to get. How many trades did I do? I did 5 trades. The last one wasn't really a strategy that I talk about too much. It didn't work, but I would do it again. But let's go over the ones that I did take and why I took them. So AVNR was basically came from. Let me just get the daily chart here. And you can see why I was going to watch this one. This is yesterday's candle right here. This is the daily candle right here. So of course it came up on the evening scan. So this is definitely one that I wanted to watch. Anytime you see some action like this, I mean, here's a stock that on Friday closed at 674 and hit a high of $13. You have to watch it the next day just to see what sort of activity you're going to have. So in the morning, you could see that it actually was, I think here, it's kind of jumpy here. This is the post-market yesterday and this is the pre-market today. So you can see that it actually opened down in the pre-market. So I was watching this and I saw this bounce area. It just looked like it was going to come off this area and I didn't take it here, but I watched it through here, a little bit of a consolidation here. These are 5-minute candles, a little bit of a consolidation here. And at this point right here, to me, it just looked good to go. And breaking over this candle right there was 1176. I took it a little premature. I think I even maybe said that in the market or in the trading room. And so I took it at 1173, and right here, and the next candle, wow, it went right up to 12. Actually, what was the high? 1208. And I sold on the break of the 12 at 1204, half of it. And then as it came back down, I sold the other half at 1190. And I can see, the market still has another about 45 minutes left in it. And it has come all the way back. But certainly I would have been stopped out in this area. But nice trade, basically because I did the evening scan, and yeah, it was a no-brainer to be definitely watching something like this all day. Certainly at the beginning, anyway, just to see because you see this action here, and yeah, there was a sell-off at the end of the not necessarily at the end of the day, but here's the high at 1309, and it sold and it closed at 1254. So not a huge sell-off based on the entire move. So you always have to think that people are still going to be excited about this, and probably more so in the morning than later on in the day. So that was that one. Now the next one, this is an unfortunate one. This came from the bounce pattern. So you see STX and at 1053, let's get the price here, 58.26. So that's easier to look. So right here, so you can see all these down red candles. So got the alert in this area here, started watching it, came back down even further, and watch it come back up. And when it went through the whole number, decided to take the trade, 5809. And it got up to 58.18 and thought, okay, we're on our way. But as it came back down, I exited the trade at 58.01 for an 8-cent loss. And it came back down, it hit that low again, and it bounced off here. I kind of lost track of it. I know that a couple of people took it. I think right in this was a perfect entry, to be honest with you. Right here, a little bit of a consolidation, consolidation or a little pullback actually, and then the break right here. Yeah, you would have had to go through a little bit of froth here, but boy, oh boy, this just tore for the rest of the day. And I know a couple of guys took it, and I think they exited way too soon. But it's just one of those things. I mean, obviously, what we're hoping for is that this sort of action was going to happen here, and it just didn't. So unfortunately, but you've got to just move on to the next one, which is exactly what I did, which was TSU. And TSU, let's take a look at TSU. Now, TSU came from the same bounce play or bounce strategy and 2846. So let's see where 2846 is, right here in this area. So again, you can see here my three down candles. Pretty dramatic. I mean, there's a pretty wide 29.19 down to 28.47. Watch it come down here. And as it came back up, this to me, as I said in the room, is a classic 5-minute bounce strategy play for me. Because what I really want to do is I do want to see this last candle have a bit of a tail on it, lots of volume. And so basically when I see this, I think, okay, the buyers have taken over. The sellers tried to hammer it down further and further, but the buyers took over and then they started to move it back up. So ideally, what you do is you take it over the top of the last red candle, which was 28.46. So I took the trade right at 28.47. And, a nice tight stop, to be honest. 28.36 is the bottom of this candle. So, 11-cent stop on this play. And it just immediately just took off. And I took half out at 28.73 and the other half at 28.94. So this to me again is textbook. Wait for the first green candle to get above the last red candle. Take the trade, especially if you've got a nice tight stop. And if it doesn't work, you've only got an 11-cent stop. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not like it went all the way down here with a tail, and then you'd have maybe a 50-cent stop. But anyway, textbook, in my opinion, of the way this sort of bounce play is supposed to work. Now, it would have been great if it had broken the whole number and really accelerated up, but still a great play, very, very fast. I mean, within 15 minutes, I'm out. The next one was CSX, and I'm still in this one, half of it anyway. Let me just bring this up. Now, this is, if for those of you who have seen my videos, last year especially, and maybe, well, no, I shouldn't say that, earlier this year, I was really liking this 20-day high break. And this is a strategy which I was using all the time. I just sort of put it away for a while. It wasn't getting too dynamic anymore, but for whatever reason, I decided to take a look at it today. So last night, I did my scan of my 20-day high break to find stocks that were near a 20-day high. Now there were other filters in place that I have, but in essence, what happens here is that I create a list of stocks that I'm going to be watching. And it's usually very manageable, maybe only 15 to 20 stocks. But what happens is that when the stock breaks its 20-day high, then this row, you can see this row right here is white. It turns from white to blue. And so what this column is telling me right here is that it is 20 cents away, minus 20, from its 20-day high. And you can see it's off a little bit here. I think it's because of it's a 30-second time, but this is 42.42 and this is 42.61. So by all rights, it should have been 19 cents. But there might be some rounding going on here. But what happens is if this had been up to say 42.62, then this line would have turned. There it is. You see 42.41, 42.61, and it's 20 cents. So what happened in this case is that once it hit 65.14, the line turned blue. It's at 65.31, and it's telling me that it's 17 cents over the 20-day high break. So I'm in this one, but these all work very well. PEG is right now it's 49 cents above. This is 41 cents above. This is 35 cents above. It may not sound like a lot, but if you take a couple of hundred shares of each one of these, that's not a bad little profit. And a lot of times these are very, very easy holds. They're not generally too whippy. So CSX, let's see, the break was at 31.52. So right here is, right there was the break of the 52-day high. So it actually happened right here. Now I waited on it because what I really wanted to see was the break of the high of the day also, 31.59. And I think if I look at the daily chart, I think this spike right here, yeah, see that spike right there is 31.59. Now that's obviously more than 20 days ago, but you have to just because it broke the 20-day high doesn't mean I absolutely take the trade. I do like to take a look at the daily, and I thought, you know what, I want to see this broken also, because in the pre-market, or actually right here, I wonder if it's right here, right there, the first candle is at 31.59. So it stalled there like it did, I think, I just bring up the date here, on July the 22nd. So it stalled at, what was the number? 31.59 on July 22nd also. So I'm conservative, and I wanted to see that break. So yes, in theory, I should be taking it at 31.52 when it actually broke the 20-day high, but I just wanted to wait a little bit, and so I took the trade at 31.61, and it took a long time to develop. I mean, I was always in the money. Came back a little bit down to 31.65, but quite steady up. They didn't have any of these huge down red candles, so it was a very, very easy hold for me. And I actually exited half for 20 cents right here, and I'm still holding the other half. And at 31.88, it may or may not get through 32, but probably I would exit if it broke 31.82 right here. That probably would be a sign for me to get out. But again, the market's got I think another 25 minutes or 35 minutes left, so I'm just going to see what happens. And the last trade I took was not anything really off any particular strategy, and breaking my heart a little bit because it's working well now. What it is I have to bring up a 15-minute chart, and that'll show you exactly what I was looking at. And you see here, let me expand this just a little bit more. Maybe, oops. Okay, so this is today's. And so I was alerted to the situation probably about in this area here. Again, it was obviously a stock that was on making a new low of the day. But what intrigued me about it is I saw these are 15-minute candles again. And so when I saw this green candle, so here's a little red candle, a little doji right here, and the low was 67, I don't think about 67.83 or 81. And then you see this green candle. It's trying to make a comeback. And it got as high as 67.97. So the whole number blocked it. And then it started coming down again. So I thought this is sort of a bit of a classic. You've got the stock falling a little bit of a pull up, failed at the whole number, and then the next candle is down. So you can see this is kind of the pattern on the 5-minute chart. So I ended up this is a short. I should tell you that this is a short which I took right here at 67.79, and I probably put my stop too tight. If I look at the 15-minute chart, I really should have put my stop at the top of this 15-minute candle, 67.97. I never would have got hit, but I put it instead at the top of this 5-minute candle, 67.87, and I took myself out at 67.88. But you can see it is, excuse me, it is falling beautifully now. So this little candle got me out, and so, I would still do the same trade again. I kind of like that little pattern, and definitely would have worked out if I hadn't been shaken out here. But I think that's more of a fault of mine by not putting in the correct stop. So, nice day. Again, 3 different types of strategies I used, and the market definitely had a lot going on for us today. I think FOMC minutes are tomorrow. I think somebody said I'll check in the morning to make sure that's true, but. Anyway, I hope that's it for today. Let me just bring back the cover sheet. And here again is how to get into the room. And I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow.